Good morning. I'm having a little trouble with my internet today, but hopefully now it's working. I want to talk about a really important topic today, and that is old beliefs. I never really realized, even though I am a hypnotist, how much your old beliefs really filter everything you say, everything you do, and how old beliefs really keep stimulating and triggering old emotions, old hurts, old fears. Oh my God, it's so good. And it's so good to drink from a real cup. Many people say to me, why do you drink from a straw? And the reason I do it is because I have veneers on my teeth and I don't want them to get stained. So let's get back to old beliefs. I keep on saying how I really need to practice what I preach. And one of the things when people draw trees for me, sometimes I say to them, is you have to separate the facts from the story. And I realized yesterday that I don't really do that. That when I think about certain things in my past, I'm so wrapped up in the story that I believe they're the facts. And when I start to untangle the facts from the story, I realize that the story is no longer serving me. And how important it is to really, every so often, if you see that you're being emotionally triggered, separate the facts from the story. Now, let's just talk about something in my life. And I feel like, even though this is on Facebook, I feel like I'm just talking to personal friends. So I just tell personal stories, but I hope that you just take them as stories about me to prove my point and not just use it to like gossip about, oh my God, Janet this and Janet that. So let's get back. So I got divorced when I was really young. The fact is, I got divorced. The fact is, he had an affair with his dental assistant. Those are all facts. The story I added to him is not so nice. I created a whole story about this monster of somebody that I was married to and that I truly loved, that I grew up with. It's true that we grew apart, and it's true that the marriage ended. The marriage ended, that's a fact. All of the commentary and all of the story that I added to it wasn't serving me anymore, because we had a child together and I needed to come to terms and write a new story that served me, that related more to the facts, because I met somebody else, and we've been married a really long time, 30 years now. He's a better fit for me. The person that I married from high school and college and dental school wasn't such a good fit for me. Now, that's my story. That's what I added to the story, and it helped me relieve some of the harsh feelings I had, some of the rejection I felt. And now what I'm trying to do is, every time an old belief comes up into my mind, because no matter what you say, you can't control your mind not to think those things. You could not give them so much attention, but you can't control your mind not to think about those things. So when old thoughts come up into my mind, that I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not a good athlete, all those old beliefs that I have about myself. At this moment, what I'm doing is stopping. Just stop and say, that old belief is not saving me right now. It's not the story I want to tell myself over and over and over again. I don't want to be weak anymore. I don't want to be the victim of my own stories. And that's what was happening to me. And I think that it could happen to all of us. So what I'm like learning how to do now is untangle the facts from the story. Take a piece of paper, you fold it in half. On the left side, you put the facts, the logical part, and on the right side is all the emotion and your story. And I realized that even little things, I wrote a whole story for it. I was in 3rd grade when I didn't get picked for some team, but I keep on telling that story. The story doesn't serve me. I'm very, very sensitive. And what I realized is that by telling myself that story over and over and over again, I was just digging it deeper and deeper into my memory so that it could trigger those feelings of not being good enough again. So I started writing out all these old beliefs. It's unbelievable to me how I still believe those stories. They're not true anymore. Things that my parents told me years ago, they thought it was in my best interest, and maybe at the time it was, but it wasn't always. And I really believed it was always. They never gave me a choice. They never did this. They never did that. And when I really looked at it yesterday, I realized, wow, that just isn't fair. I had to change my story. There were times when my parents were really, really busy. They both worked full time. But it's just not true that they always weren't there for me. And now that I'm re-examining those stories, I can end them however I want. I wrote a book already, so now I know I'm an author, and I could make a revision of my life story. And just kind of stick more to the facts, because the facts are the facts. And that story that I built was the story from a 7-year-old, from a 10-year-old, from a 20-year-old, from a 30-year-old. And now that I'm 63, it's really not a good story. It's a childhood story, and I need to rewrite it. And that's like what I'm kind of working on right now in my next book, is how to do it. And it's so interesting to me because I feel like so many people say to me, oh my God, I love your coffee time, you're so inspirational. And because I have all this self-doubt, I have all of these issues going on still, I feel like, how can I be inspirational for other people if I don't even practice what I preach? So the reason that I'm telling you this whole thing about beliefs is that I want you to hold me to it. When you hear me going off on something that's an old belief that you know is no longer true about me, I think that you can say, Janet, that's not true about you anymore, to remind me. And I can remind you when I see posts and things that you say about yourself that you think are true. They're not true. Because they were true years ago, but the facts are the facts. No matter what you're going through right now, and we all have challenges, we all have like different things that we're going through. I think it's so important to learn this technique that I'm about to teach you about separating the facts from the story, and then you have the opportunity from your new experiences to change your story and make it a good one. Become the superhero that you always wanted to be. I think that we all can do that. Now, I just want to tell you one thing. Somebody sent me this gift. It's a box of cards that have like a great smell to it and a beautiful scene. And on the back, each one has a saying. So I decided that every day I would look at like a different saying. And today I picked a card, and the card said, I give thanks each morning knowing that my life is blessed with unconditional love. And I'd like to leave you with that saying, that that's true. We all have unconditional love from somebody, but the most important person that we need unconditional love from is yourself. And I have to be honest, I'm so loving to other people, but sometimes my self-talk, my old beliefs, my mind is so mean. I can't even believe, I would never say it to anybody, but I say it to myself. So I think today enjoy your coffee, and for the rest of the day, try like a little more unconditional love is, because the fact is that you are lovable. That is the fact. We are all really lovable. And I'm not religious, so this is not religious, but God doesn't make junk. God makes each one of us so special. And it's really important that we start celebrating our specialness, our uniqueness, because we're here to make the world a better place. And I think that it really begins with one belief, one story at a time, untangling it so that we can separate the facts from the story that we wrote at the moment that's emotional, that might not be so right anymore, because emotions are at the time. And right now we're past that. So the stories that I wrote when I was in 3rd grade and 4th grade and all that time, the young stories, I still believe them. It's unbelievable to me. The word unbelievable is unbelievable to me that I'm still living those stories about not being good enough. No matter how much I accomplish on the outside, it begins with your inner beliefs. So, enjoy your coffee. Oh my God, this is so good today. It's so cold out here. Have a really good day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.